Has anybody out there listening heard the song by Kanye West called God Is? Because let me tell you, verbatim through that whole song is nothing but pure theology. And I go so far as to have my own mental critique of the theology that is mentioned in Christian singers' songs who are Kanye makes all kinds of music. He says all kinds of things. But when I look over his life and words as a whole, he has spoken more truth, pure, absolute truth, than any of his crazy ramblings he's ever been on. The one time I did see him talking very crazy was actually crazy seeming, because the same thing happens to me, was on the Joe Rogan podcast, who is a very dominant white male with a very specific mindset, okay? Kanye West is a phenomenal artist and what he's done. And the words to the song, God is pure Bible, let me tell you. All are welcome through the door, from the rich to the poor. But what does the Bible tell us? It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to inherit the kingdom of God. What I want to say regarding Kanye and also his marriage to Kim Kardashian is that I did once see Kim talking about how difficult he made her life by saying something like, oh, he gave all our Lamborghinis away to his friends one day. And she was like, my life was just so unpredictable. How can anyone deal with that? Girl, you can't let your husband do what he wants to with Lamborghinis? What the hell? You've got all the money in the world. Aren't you the one who's told to working women of the world, get off your ass and get to work if you want what I've got? Girl, you don't know what work is, nor do you know what instability is. You only know control, domineering women and control. Because that family of women, while I do applaud their efforts as a matriarchy, I totally think that they have disgraced men worldwide, starting with their very own little brother. And not to mention Kim thinking that giving away Lamborghinis is like a horrible thing your man did. Sorry, girl. You have tons of money. He gave you tons of things worth tons of money, and you're mad he chose to do what he wanted to do. The Bible tells us what? Your desire will be for your husband, but he will rule over you. This constant pressure between men and women and the tension that has been rising and rising and rising in our society is about to go kerplunk, because the whole thing is crazy. Men and women do have different roles. Absolutely. The problem is no one actually submits to the authority of God and try to follow his instructions in true obedience. That is why the Bible tells women to be quiet, because you really, really, really want to boss men around. You really want to be the boss, okay? But if a man does not want to hear from you, you are not doing any good. And you need to take your words to God. And for a man, his thing is going to usually be to be avoidant, okay? These are people when they're in their true energies, because a man can be in a feminine energy and a woman can be in a masculine energy. But let's talk about hyper independence as a trauma response. And let's talk about avoidance as a trauma response. So a man is going to avoid interacting with a woman who is domineering to him. But when a man walks away from his wife, he should be walking to go talk to God or hear from God, rather than just totally avoid her. And the woman should shut her mouth and stop talking to her husband, nagging, and go talk to God. You should separate for a time until you can both work it out with God. The problem is nobody wants God in their relationship. They want to do it on their own. And then you want to blame each other for why it didn't work out. Or a woman who has a bad experience with a man is going to pull her daughter aside and say, look, no man is ever going to be good to you. So you find one with money. You do this, you do that. And I'm telling you, none of those solutions work, do they? Do they? That's why 250 years of saying in God we trust, our country and civilization as a whole in America is absolutely at a tipping point. Women are doing some of the most grotesque things to their bodies to try to attain some weird standard of perfection that, in my opinion, is not even perfect. Because I think I am perfect how I am made, and I think you are perfect how you are made, and I don't think you need to have needles injected into your body, nor your feet bound up, nor any of that. You simply need safety, security, protection, and support, okay? And also, women do need to learn how to grow into some level of emotional control and stop using your emotions, your body, your ability to persuade, to try to persuade entire groups of men to do your bidding. Hello, that's never gonna work. Anyways, I'm not really sure the point of this video, but I have ran out of things to say, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But my point is, the Bible does have a special formula, and I did learn that that formula is appropriate because the formula actually helped me see that I was nothing to do with the problem in my last relation. Well, I did have some issues in my last relationship, but as I learned how to eliminate myself as the problem, it actually became the quieter I got, the meaner he got. And if you're working in that opposition, then clearly there's something off. And, you know, the more I loved him, the more I tried to love him consistently, the more he pulled away. And that is how you know someone did not commit in that marriage. And that's how I was able to walk away, because I did finally come to some sort of realization that I fully, in my heart, mind, soul, and spirit, married that man that day. And he really just did it in front of people. And I don't know how to explain that, but that is why that marriage could never work. And that's why, honestly, we were never even fully married in the spirit. We were literally married on a legal piece of paper, which is why when we went to get divorced, he used the law against me. There's also 2 ways in the Bible that God separated a body of water in order to allow people to pass through. One was the parting of the Red Sea, in which the Egyptians were chasing after them. And God used the opening path that he allowed them through on to actually, in the end, crush and drown out their enemies. Versus the crossing of the Jordan, they were following in obedience and reverence to God. And, you know, God said, put your feet in the water and I'll, you know, pile up the waters on one side. So, I don't really know what any of that means. I just know, that when I was leaving my marriage and everybody I know was trying to do anything they could to make my life more difficult, none of it worked. And nothing has ever driven me closer to God than being fully attacked by everybody in my circle. Not just left alone. Y'all didn't just leave me alone and say, we don't understand her, we're going to ignore her. Every single person, my own pastor at the church where we were baptized and married, the new pastor that came in, called the police on me after I left the church, all because I said what I needed to say. And actually, I wasn't even saying it to him because I knew he wasn't listening to me, but his children were behind him and they could hear me. And I saw the looks on their faces. That's what y'all don't understand, or at least what y'all forget. The children in your home see the reality, because nobody can wear a mask all day, every day. You've got to go home and relax somewhere. Even the psychopaths have to relax. Anyways, I don't think Kanye West is crazy. I do think Kim Kardashian is very controlling. I think it is, it is kind of the sickness of women, and it's the jealousy issues. And good luck finding a man out there. You and Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, like, I got nothing but love and support for y'all, but y'all's out there acting wild, and y'all want this certain type of man, and you don't even realize that you're the worst of them. You are chasing a type of man who is going to mistreat you. The same thing gets told to me nonstop. When you are in a relationship that doesn't work out well, they're like, well, why'd you choose that? Well, why'd you choose that? Well, this goes out to the ladies way up at the top in Hollywood. Why are you choosing the NFL, the NBA players, all this kind of stuff, when it's not going to go well for you? Those men already worship money and fame and riches. Very few of them are Like this one soccer guy, he was like, I will not cut my hair. I don't care who pays me, who doesn't pay me. I'm not cutting my hair. It's not what I want to do. And it's just true. There's that song that says you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And yeah, good day and good luck figuring out what any of that means.